Right, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. So my name is Jinso, and I'm a migration lawyer with NB Migration Law here in Brisbane. The topic we'll be looking at today is the Australian partner visas. So today my goal is to give you clarity around which visa pathway applies to your relationship, depending on your relationship status. So whether you're married in a de facto or engaged, and clarity about what evidence you actually need, and clarity about how to avoid the mistakes that lead to refusals. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have a practical roadmap you can rely on. Okay, so just briefly about who we are. At NB Migration Law, we've been helping people migrate to Australia for over 28 years. So we are part of the No Borders Law Group, which includes commercial, employment, property, and migration law divisions. This structure allows us to support clients holistically, so especially when visas intersect with employment, property, or business matters. So our founder, Agnes Cummins, arrived in Australia as a migrant herself. Her story is the foundation of our culture here at NB Migration. Every visa is a story of hope, opportunity, and a new beginning, and that's why we do what we do. All right, so before we dive in a little bit about me, so my name is Jinsel Park. I hold a Bachelor's of Law and Master's of Laws from the University of Auckland, and I've been practicing law since 2015. I began my career in property law and then moved into other areas of law like commercial and private clients, as well as migration law, of course. I'm originally from Korea and I grew up in New Zealand and moved to Brisbane early in 2025. My own immigrant journey is what drives my passion for migration law. And I understand the uncertainty, the stress, and the emotional weight that comes with navigating a new country's legal system and also coming and settling it in a new country. So my role is to guide my clients through this migration journey with clarity, strategy, and confidence. All right, so that was just a little bit about myself. So let's get on to the topic today. So for partner visas, one of the biggest misconceptions I hear is that you must live together for 12 months before applying for any of the partner visas. This problem causes three major issues. So couples delay applications unnecessarily to wait out that 12-month period. So they start panicking when a visa is about to expire. So say that they're in a relationship for 6 months and their visa expires next month. So they'll only have 12 months of relationship and they start panicking and that's when they come and see us. And also we have some couples that choose the wrong visa, thinking they have no other option. The truth about partner visa is far more nuanced. There are strategic pathways that don't require the 2-month cohabitation. There are exemptions and there are alternative visa subclasses. Today, I'll walk you through all of them. Okay, so there are 3 partner visa pathways in Australia. So if you're married, there is the subclass 820 and 801, which is the onshore partner visa, and the 309 and 100, which is the offshore partner visa. If you're in a de facto relationship, same subclasses, so the 820, 801, the onshore, and the 309, 100 for the offshore partner visa. If you're engaged, slightly different. You'll be applying for what's called a subclass 300 visa. This is a prospective marriage visa. Each pathway has its own requirements, advantages, and time considerations. Understanding which category you fall into is the foundation of your strategy. Right, I'll just move this to the next PowerPoint. Oh, can't seem to move it. Oh, sorry, I'm just having trouble moving. There you go. All right, So for all couples for partner visas, the department will look at four key elements: the financial interdependence, shared domestic life, social recognition, and the long-term commitment. Within the shared domestic life element, the default rule is the 12-month of cohabitation. And this is when the strategy comes in. So the marriage removes the 12-month requirement entirely, and relationship registration can waive it for de facto couples. So relationship registration, like I said, is one of the most powerful tools available for de facto couples if they don't meet the 12-month requirement. So if, for example, it benefits couples who haven't lived together for 12 months or have spent time apart due to, work commitments or study or travel commitments, or they need to lodge urgently because their visa is about to expire next month. Or sometimes couples want to avoid waiting a full year to apply for the partner visa because the processing times take over a year. They choose to lodge their partner visa as soon as possible. But keep in mind that relationship registration waives the time requirement only, but it does not waive the requirement to prove a genuine relationship under those four elements that I've just mentioned. All right, so let's go into a bit more detail for each of the different types of relationship status. So for married couples, the pathway is straightforward. So it's either the onshore partner visa, which is the 820, 801, or the offshore 30900. Like I said, marriage removes the 12-month cohabitation requirement entirely. This is especially helpful for couples who haven't lived together that long or have been separated due to work or study. So they're married, they're husband and wife, but they live apart. Or the visa is to expire very soon, or they want a clear, legally recognized pathway. Keep in mind, though, that marriage doesn't replace evidence. You still have to provide evidence to show that you are in a committed relationship. For de facto couples, you can meet the cohabitation requirement in two ways. One is living together for 12 months, and the other pathway is registering your relationship. I believe registration in Australia is possible for most states, except Western Australia and I think Northern Territory. So this pathway is ideal for couples who have lived together, but not a full year, so not an entire 12 months, have lived apart due to work and other commitments, and they want to avoid waiting 12 months, or are not really ready to be married, but have a committed relationship. So for de facto couples, similarly, you'll be applying for the 820 or 801 onshore, or if you're offshore, the 30900 visa. Okay. And for engaged couples, this is slightly different. So subclass 300, the prospective marriage visa, is designed for engaged couples who want to start their life together in Australia. So it allows you to apply offshore and enter Australia once the visa is granted, and you get married within the visa validity period, which is normally about a year. And then you transition to the onshore partner visa, the 820 and 801. For prospective marriage visa, no cohabitation is required, so you don't have to be living together at all. So this is especially helpful for couples that are having a long distance relationship. Okay, so this table basically summarizes those three pathways that I've just gone through. So for married couples, it's the onshore, the offshore partner visa. If you have a legal marriage, so that means an official marriage certificate. I know some countries have religious marriages as well. They don't count, so it has to be a legal official marriage and a shared life proof. I'll go through them later a little bit more in detail. If you're married, you're exempt from the 12-month rule. De facto, again, the onshore and offshore partner visa, you either have to meet the 12-month cohabitation rule or you can register the relationship. And the state registration waives that 12-month rule. If you're engaged, you'll be applying for the prospective marriage visa. Only thing you need to show is that you have the intention to marry within that visa period, which is about 12 months. There's no prior cohabitation needed. But for the prospective marriage visa, you have to have met one time, minimum of one, once that you've met each other. Okay. So to build a strong application, you need evidence across 4 pillars. So this is in addition to that 12-month rule, whether you satisfy that rule or you meet that exemption. In addition to that, there are 4 pillars that you've got to satisfy. There are financial, social, household, and commitment. I'll go into more detail on each of those headings soon. But basically for financial, you have to show how you manage money together. For social aspect, you have to show how your relationship is recognized by others. For the household aspect, you have to show how you live together on a day-to-day basis. And for commitment, you have to show that you have a long-term intention to commit to this relationship. A strong application doesn't rely on one pillar. It shows consistency across all 4 pillars. All right, so let's start with financial evidence. So some of the examples are listed on the screen here. I'll just go through them. So there's the joint bank accounts. So joint bank accounts are probably the strongest evidence that you can provide, but sometimes couples don't have joint bank accounts. You can have individual bank accounts and show money transfers to each other. There's also shared lease or mortgage documents, so to show that you are paying rent together or mortgage payments together. Joint utility bills like electricity, internet, water, if you're paying them together through your joint bank account, that can be evidence as well. Major joint purchases like furniture and vehicles, if you've got receipts for them, great. And if you paid for those joint purchases using your joint bank account, even better. And then shared financial planning or saving goals. So as part of the partner visa application, you'll be doing what's called the relationship statements. And in that relationship statement, you've got to also explain how you share your finances and how you plan your finances together and what your future plans are. Okay, so social and household evidence. So some of the examples include for social aspect, the 888 form. So this is for your friends and family to provide a statement in a form provided by the department to verify your relationship, to say that you are in a committed, genuine relationship. Joint travel evidence. So this can be travel bookings, accommodation bookings. If you rented a car together, that can be also evidence. Event invitations. So this can be wedding invitations you receive as a couple. We receive Christmas party invitations or concert invitations as well. Social media and photos, those can be social evidence as well. So if you represent yourself as a couple on social media, regularly post photos and show affection online as well. So that can be evidence as well. And recognition by family and friends, of course. And this is backed up by the 888 forms that they provide. Household evidence can be shared tenancy or lease agreements. So if you've got the lease agreement under one of your name, it's better to have both your names on the lease agreement before you lodge. We've also have flatmate agreements or letters from landlords if you don't have a lease agreement. I've recently received a subtenant lease agreement that can work as well, as long as both of your names are indicated on the agreement. Mail addressed to the same residence. So this can be joint mails or it can be individual mails, so addressed to each of you, but with the same address. Household responsibility breakdown. So this is kind of like a table of the household responsibility and who does what. So who does the cooking, who does the laundry, who does the cleaning, etc. You can say you share it equally, or you can say, I take care of cooking during the week, and my partner does the cooking in the weekends. Shared subscriptions like Netflix, for example, memberships. I see gym memberships together. Evidence of cohabiting routine. So this also is something that you can include in your relationship statement. You can explain in your own words how you go about day-to-day chores around the house together. So social evidence basically shows how others sees your relationship, and household evidence shows how you live together, and both are very essential. And the last pillar is commitment. So some of the examples again are listed there. So communication records. So this can be, screenshots of your communication records through a lot of our clients use WhatsApp. So you can get a screenshot of those. And it's especially important if you're separated. So if you're living, in another country, that communication record will be very important. If there are periods of your relationship where one of you was somewhere else for work commitments, for example, communication records during that period will be very important. Joint insurance policy. I do get Bupa insurance policies that are in joint names, so that'd be very helpful. Will, so legal documents. So if you've got any sort of legal document to show that you've named each other as beneficiaries under that legal document, that'll be also very good. And future plans. So that's when the relationship statement again comes in. So you can list out your future plans in your relationship statement to show that you are committed in this relationship and have planned your future together. Okay, so okay, so early planning allows you to choose the optimal pathway to seeking advice from an expert early on. So it is really important that you don't wait until your visa is about to expire. So you don't come to us when you have 2 weeks left on your visa. Instead, you come to us well before that so that we can discuss what the best pathway is for you. Is it the onshore, is it the offshore, or is it the prospective marriage visa? After that meeting, it is likely that you can take advantage of the relationship registration. So if you don't meet that 12-month requirement, or if you know that you're not going to meet that 12-month requirement before you lodge, you can get yourself prepared and register your relationship. The registration takes time, so it is better to get onto it early than leave it till the last minute. And also, having had that plan in advance gives you time to build stronger evidence. So with our clients, generally what we do is we engage with our clients really early on and give them a very comprehensive checklist of what documents they need to provide us. So those are not just generic documents. We're not going to tell them to provide, just give us some, lease agreements and mails addressed to each other, photos, etc. It's not going to be like this. So if we've done a initial consult with our client, we will know their story. We will know what their situation is. So we will tailor advice in accordance with what what evidence it's going to require for them specifically, and we'll list out the evidence that we require from them. And of course, having gone through this, you avoid rushed and providing inconsistent documentation, which is the last thing you want. So you look at partner visas as legal submissions rather than just completing forms. Okay. All right. So the single RFI risk. So once you've lodged your application and I'll have to say about 12 months in, you'll find that the department finally opens up your application, looks at it, reads through your application, information provided, and with the supporting evidence, of course. And if it is lacking information or if they need further clarification on anything, they generally issue what's called an RFI. It's a request for further information. And they have warned clients that they will now be only issuing one. So if your initial application has major gaps, you get a single chance to fix them. And if your response is incomplete or inconsistent, the visa can be refused at that point. This is why building a strong application upfront is essential and not after the RFI arrives. Just to give you a little bit more context about the RFI, for most of our clients, we like to see RFIs that are very simple. So there is a very likely chance that we'll also get the RFIs for the applications we submit. This is simply because there are documents that expire in that 12-month time period. So, for example, police certificates or health examinations. So, say you provide police certificate at the time of lodging the application. If the department opens up your application, reviews everything after, say, 12 or 13 months, that police certificate will expire. So it's only valid for 12 months in the eyes of the department. So they're going to request a more current police certificate. Same goes for health examinations. So we normally don't ask our clients to do the health examinations when we lodge. We kind of leave it to later in the application process so that they're not having to do it twice. That's a waste of money for them as well. So what a classic good RFI looks like is just a new police certificate, a more current one, and a health examination. We don't want to see RFIs with long list of things regarding the relationship statement because that means your initial application had major gaps and it's a red flag that the visa can be refused. Okay, so common mistakes that we see on a day-to-day basis are firstly applying based on assumptions about your relationship status. So you think you are in a de facto relationship, you apply for the partner visas, but in fact you are not in a de facto relationship on paper. This is a classic example. So you're lacking evidence, and the department will come back to you with a long list of things on an RFI. Sometimes you wait until a visa is expiring. So waiting too long is a classic example as well. So we have clients that come in and say, oh, my visa is about to expire in 2 weeks' time. What do I do? So that's not good. And submitting inconsistent evidence. So this is what we see quite commonly for people that have already applied for the partner visa just by themselves. They've done it themselves. They thought, okay, this is all good. And then come, that 15-month period point, and then the department will issue them an RFI and asking them a whole lot of questions regarding their relationship because the statements that they have made and the information that they've provided in the actual application form and the evidence they had attached to their application don't match. So this is really not a good state to be in. So this is one of the most common mistakes that we see when clients lodge their visa by themselves. The next one is, of course, ignoring the relationship registration exemption. Some people don't actually know about it, so they think they're in a de facto relationship. They think they live for 12 months, but on paper, they haven't actually lived together for 12 months. They don't register their relationship, lodge their application, and thinking that the RFI response is guaranteed safety net. So it's definitely not a guaranteed safety net. The department has warned us that they will limit the amount of RFIs that they send out. So they are limiting the number of times that they give this applicant a chance to fix their application, basically. And also, if you receive an RFI, 15 months in the application and you're having to go back, trace back 15 months and having to provide evidence from then, it can be very difficult. So having to trace back nearly 2 years of communication records or going back 2 years, trying to find your lease agreement or a correspondence addressed to you at the same address, 2 years ago can be very, very difficult. So definitely not rely on that RFI response as a safety net. All right. Okay. So how NB migration law helps. So basically, we support couples through strategic planning. So if you come and see us early on, we can provide you with a strategic plan on how to approach your partner visa. We'll hear your story. We'll give you a good plan of how to approach this. And if your visa is still ongoing, have about 3 months left, for example, we can guide you through within that 3 months how to prepare evidence. And if you need to register, you can register your relationship during that period as well. We'll help you collate evidence. That this is really important as well. So you can't just upload any evidence that you think is fit. You will run it past us. We'll review every single evidence that you provide. We make sure that they don't conflict with any other evidence you're providing or the statements or information you're providing in your application. You make sure they look consistent and then upload it to your application. Application preparation and management, of course. So we prepare the application based on the information you provide. We lodge the application and then provide the supporting evidence as well. Also, when you lodge your application, that's not the end of it. Like I said, the processing times for partner visas are about 15 months or so. So during that period, we'll ask our clients to keep sending documents through every 3-4 months with updated relationship evidence. We make sure those updated relationship evidence are consistent with the evidence that's already provided, and then we upload it to their application. So this is constant application management all the way through. And then lastly, of course, the RFI response. So we know we get those RFIs on a day-to-day basis, and we know what to expect for each of our clients. So if they're, simple, short police certificate, health examination, great. Sometimes because of our client circumstances, they may request a little bit more further. Then we can guide our clients through that as well and ask them for evidence that are required, and we complete the RFI within the time frame that they provide us. Normally it is about 28 days the department gives us to respond to these RFIs. All right. Okay, so we offer complimentary one-on-one consultations with our lawyers, including myself, and I encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity by booking one of these consults using this QR code on the screen that it's appearing now in front of you. So during the consultation, we'll assess your circumstances and advise you on the visa pathway that best fits your situation. Since these sessions are completely free, I do strongly recommend making use of it to get a clear and tailored guidance, not just a general advice. My webinar today is just a general advice on what partner visas are, but it'll be really good if we can hear your story and give you a little bit more detailed guidance on your situation, how you should approach the partner visas. Okay, I think that brings us to the end of the webinar. If anyone has any questions, I am happy to take them now. You feel free to unmute. Yep, I think John has one. Oops, let me just bring that up. So if it's okay with you, John, is it all right if I just read out your question to everyone? Is that all right, John? Okay, cool. All right. So says my partner and I dated for 5 months, lived together. We broke up for 12 months, but eventually got back and resumed our relationship for 8 months now. Would it be considered more than 1 year relationship even though we had a gap? We broke up. Okay. All right, so 8 plus 5, if I'm doing my math correctly, that is over 12 months. So that's 13 months, isn't it? So if you are, yes, that's still considered 12 months, as long as you can prove under those 4 pillars that you have lived together for 12 months, shared finances, and you're recognized as a couple for, I guess, 13 months now. Does that answer your question, John? No problem. Thank you. Great, great. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I see someone. Hello, Tiona. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. Let's just give Tiona a second to type her question in. If anyone else has any other questions, keep start typing your question out, so I'll read it out one by one as they come through. Okay, so Tiona's question, I'll just read it first. Okay. Okay, so Tiona looks like she's on a subclass 600 visa, which is the Vista visa, and she's just wondering whether she should apply for an onshore and an offshore partner visa. Tiona, I do highly recommend that you book in a consult with us. We'll have to hear your story a little bit more, and discuss what your situation is and see if an onshore partner visa is the best pathway for you. Just as a general rule for everybody as well, the difference between the onshore and offshore partner visa, I guess the most clearer one is that one that you apply onshore, one you apply offshore. The advantage of doing an onshore partner visa is that if you apply onshore, you get what's called a bridging visa A, which gives you a legal right to remain in Australia. So it is actually better if you can do the onshore partner visa, do the onshore one. So I think Tiona, you're married as well, so that's great. Congratulations. Um, Please book a consultation in with us. I will go through the background regarding your relationship a little bit more, and we'll be able to advise you on what the best pathway is for you. I do wish we can do an onshore partner visa for you, but let's hear your story first and also hear about when your tourist visa will expire. Okay? Great, thank you. Okay, I think I've just got Roy just typing away there. Okay, so I got one more. Jerry would like to book a consult. Okay, great. Okay, Jerry, we had that QR code on the screen just before, I think, or we can get somebody to get in touch with you and make an appointment with you, okay? So I'd love to hear your story and we look forward to hearing from you and we can go through what the best pathway is for you as well. So let's go over to the next question, Roy. So Roy, your question is, okay, you and partner have been together for 10 years, engaged 5 years ago. Um, we're also business partners. Yes, friends we have. Okay, so you have bank stock accounts together. Okay, and you have applied for a marriage ceremony. Great. Okay, where do we apply offshore as we live mainly offshore? How much will it cost? How long should we prepare for timeline? Okay. All right, Roy. So this is a classic example where booking a consult will be best for you. I don't want to be going into too much detail with everybody here, and I don't want to be discussing too much information about your relationship to everybody. So, Roy, if you can book a consultation, we'll certainly go through the situation and then give you the timeline and the cost involved with it. Just just with the information that I have in front of me, with your relationship being 10 years, Roy, it may be that it would be really good to do this partner visa for you too as soon as possible, and you may be able to get a permanent partner visa quicker than other applications because of the duration of your relationship. So just book a consultant, we can discuss further. Okay. All right, so it looks like there's a bit of a problem with the QR code. Mao or Ernest, if you're there, if you can help Jerry or Gary, sorry, to book a consult with us and Roy and Tiona as well, that'd be great. And I think there is, okay, here's a link here. Contact us for consultation. If you go into the link and book a consult, then that'd be great. Okay. If no one else has any questions, I think this will bring our webinar to an end. But feel free if any questions pop up, book in that consultation. We'll go through your situation, answer any other questions you may have. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.